Welcome to this video on solving for cash. In this video, I'm going to tie up some loose ends around how we calculate the cash balance and how we calculate the overdraft balance when completing the balance sheet. So one thing I want to remind you of is a formula that we created when we were working with the accounting and the business type balance sheet, and we made some adjustments. And we came up with a formula that says the net assets in the operations of the business are made up of fixed assets, like property, plant, and equipment, plus the current assets, the stock, the debtors, and the cash, minus the current liabilities, typically the money we owe to our suppliers, which are the creditors, and maybe any overdraft. So I'm going to use that formula in solving for cash in All-Star. So I'm going to bring into screen some numbers that you can get access to by getting my All-Star income statement balance sheet answers. And you will find under a tab called the Workings tab, which I'm on at the moment. There we go, the Workings tab. There are some calculations in this sheet. And specifically, I'm coming down here to the 2017 cash calculations. And there you see our formula. And what I've done is I've taken some data that's in the balance sheet, the numbers that we've already done, and I've plugged the information into this formula. So for example here, the net assets is 821,800. Let's see where I got that number from. So if I come to the balance sheets in 2017, here's the net asset number, 821,800. Remember where we got that number from? Well, what we did is we got that from the top part of the balance sheet. There it was, the total capital. I said to you, take that number and put it down there because this must balance. So once we've plugged that in, we can start to fill out the information in our formula here. Here's got the net assets. The fixed assets are 450,000, and we get that from the 450 that we've got in fixed assets. Next up is I'm opening a bracket here to say inside this bracket are the current assets, and there you have the stock and the debtors and C for cash. And then at the end, minus the current liabilities, that's the 232,800. So all I've really done is I've plugged into the formula the information that is contained inside the balance sheet over here, and I've just said make that C. In other words, that's our unknown. All right, so solve for C. You guys can do the algebra here. Take the 450 across to the other side, make it negative. The 79,000, bring that across, make that negative. Same with the debtors, and then the current liabilities becomes positive, and you're left with C. And as you solve for C, there you have the 43,480. All right. Now the same calculation gets done in the 2018 financials. The difference is in this case, if you look at this formula, we're not solving for C because that was given to us. We are solving for the overdraft. And the principle is generally the same. The one thing you need to watch out for is you've got to watch this minus on the front of this bracket. For those of you who may be a little bit rusty on your algebra, you must multiply this minus through the bracket first. Remember those good old BODMAS rules from your algebra days. And once you've done that, you will notice in the next line that the current liabilities, the creditors becomes negative and the overdraft becomes negative. And then you can do your algebra, and if you solve for overdraft, you will come to this number of 42,330. Okay, so that just wraps up the last of the All-Star income statements and balance sheets, and we will see you in the next video.